It's been a while since I've ridden an older two-stroke. I ride two-strokes every year when the new bikes come out for Yamaha and KTM Husky, but it's been a minute since I rode anything this old, so it kind of takes me back to last time I rode an older two-stroke was 1990, and it was an RM125.
Yeah, so it was really funny, you know, Matthes called me up and he's like, dude, we've got these two old bikes. We kind of redid them and we want you to come ride. And I'm thinking, old bikes, what are we talking, BSAs here? Or, you know, like an old Husky. He says an 88 and an 89, and I'm thinking, well, I was racing nationals and supercrosses that year. Was it really that old? And then I kind of thought about it and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm old. So I went out into my shed, I got a big old bag of old gear that I had, and I came up with what I was wearing in 89 actually, which was High Point. I was a JT guy before that, and then I switched to High Point.
We kind of planned all this earlier, and Steve told me what gear I was going to wear, and I think I'm more excited about getting dressed to go riding than actually riding the bikes, because it's Halloween today, it's October 31st, so when I got dressed up, I'm Ron Lachine. So the 89 CR125, when I first got on, I was expecting a little bit more, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of doggy off the low end. Like I said, I ride two strokes every year, so I can kind of compare and relate a little bit. So bottom end, I think the newer two-stroke has a lot on it, but after that, mid to top, I don't think the gap is quite as big. So I do feel like this bike right here, corners like a dream. I was telling Matt this earlier when I was riding, it feels like a bicycle. I can lay in that corner, and if the corner's blown out, I just cut right down and rail the corner. It's actually a really cool feeling, and I haven't felt that in a long, long time since, you know, four strokes came out.
You know, right off the bat, I jumped on this one, the YZ250, Mickey Diamond brand right here, you know, and it was hilarious because the first half a lap, I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? But by, you know, 2 laps into it, you kind of start feeling it and you start riding it, and you're like, man, you know, I can kind of figure this out. The brakes are horrific from what, you know, we're used to and what we have today. There are no brakes, basically. So you got to run kind of different lines, different two-stroke lines. You got to let it flow a little bit. Shifting was hilarious because, you know, it's a YZ250, and I was bogging coming out of corners only because I wasn't used to it. You know, you got to get used to shifting down and clutching it and pinning it and just getting on it. By the end of a few laps, man, it was actually really fun. You know, it was incredible how well this bike turns. Right off the bat, you could feel just the lightness of it, the narrowness of it. You can just get on it and just get it into the corner, rail the corners. Just felt amazing, actually, even compared to a new bike, which just sounds crazy. You know, perhaps we're going a little bit slower, but you just feel like a hero through the corners on it. Suspension-wise, everything was soft. I ended up stiffening. I went a bunch of rebound on the shock just to kind of get it to calm down a little bit, because the thing just wanted to be all over the place and just, you know, go crazy everywhere. But it was really, really fun to just kind of see that just a few clicks of rebound actually made the thing really rideable.
So I also rode the 88 YZ250, which is pretty cool, and I got the whole gear setup going on. And that's kind of my era where I grew up 12 years old watching Supercross, and it's a really cool feeling for me to ride such a bike because I didn't ride that big a bike when I was that young. But the YZ250, I even asked Matthes later if he's gonna sell it because I want it. It's fun to ride. Like getting off of this, and I went to the 88 Yamaha, there's a lot more power. And we're here at Comp Edge, and everything's between 60 to 80 feet. That thing jumps everything. Only negative for me was the fork just so soft. So I know Rich had to crank in the clickers, but overall fun factor for me, the Yamaha was much better.
So then I rode the Yamaha first, and then we switched. Keefer and I swapped it up, and I was kind of feeling hero because I could hang with Keefer, and so I'm feeling like, dude, come on. And then I jump on the Honda. I kept riding it, and 2 laps into it, I started feeling it, and you start figuring out where your shift spots are. The power band on it is literally about an inch wide. It's tiny. So you kind of figure out exactly where the power band is. You keep it shifting just right, and you can actually get going pretty fast on it. The minute you make one little tiny mistake, forget about it. You lose 10 seconds that lap trying to get back up to speed, but once you're up and going, it's all right. Fun stuff, really, really fun stuff riding these old bikes, and there's nothing wrong with them. That's the thing, man. If you have an old Craigslist vintage YZ250, you get it a little bit cleaned up, put new tires on it, make sure the clutch is good, you can come out here and have a blast all day long. 2 strokes. The future is 2 strokes, maybe.